This is our final press briefing. I would say gratitude is a must. This is actually our final Economic Program Oversight Committee press briefing. I'd like to welcome everyone, some special people with us, as we were saying, former members of EPOC and also current serving members. To my right, Mr. Donovan Wignall, who has been an avid and contributor to the Economic Program Oversight Committee and has been here for the last 11 years. Yes. It's been quite a journey, and we're at a place where in Jamaica we can now boast the independent central bank, an independent fiscal commission that will come on board in January. We'll be having a conversation around that with the incoming fiscal commissioner, Mr. Courtney Williams, and with Minister Fayval Williams. We also have with us Mr. Septimus Bob Blake, who was also very instrumental to the deliberations of the Economic Program Oversight Committee. Also, the team from the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Jamaica who have worked with us was also very responsive. Yeah. The reporting was excellent. They were always willing to engage in constructive dialogue, and we're willing to test them in Donovan. Mr. Trevor Anderson, Principal Director in the Ministry of Finance, and Mr. Teron Francis, Director of the Economic Reform Unit. But I would like to really acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Richard Lumsden, who has been really the one who has kept us on track, but always on point, and a major contributor to the deliberations of the Economic Program Oversight Committee. Mr. Trevor Anderson, Principal Director, Fiscal Management Branch, Teron Francis, Chief Economist. I'd like to also acknowledge Dr. Peter Phillips. Dr. Peter Phillips agreed to put this Economic Program Oversight Committee in place. And he actually said that, Keith, we should include the unions, we should include small business, we should include agriculture, we should include the private sector. And I was given that task of calling up everybody and said, we're forming this Economic Program Oversight Committee. And we did so, and we got good support. And this was actually done like in a 24-hour period. I'd like to acknowledge Governor Richard Biles for his stint at the Wicket as chairman. Governor Richard Biles really put EPOC on the map, steadfast, solid leadership, what the country needed at that point in time, and he did so for 2013 and 16. Governor Brian Winter, who was the first co-chair, and I actually reached out to Governor Winter last night to thank him again for his service, right? I'd like to thank the EPOC committee members, and to my right is Donovan Wignall, who has been steadfast as a member of EPOC from 2013 through 2024. Mr. Septimus Bob Blake, as I said before, Mr. Lenworth Fulton, Helene Davis-White, all members who actively participate in the deliberations of EPOC. I'd like to thank the members of the media who actually provided great coverage for EPOC during this period. Thank the intelligent team for their work. Thank you for Procom, who actually came up with the concept EPOC on the corner. And we hit the road with EPOC on the corner, going into all inner city communities, going to rural communities and sitting with the people and explaining, because their thing was, well, me don't understand what you're talking about, you know. You know what I mean? Tell me how this manifests in my day-to-day life. So, you know, we had to step up and really indicate how the fiscal space that we're going to be creating, how that really impact them in their day-to-day lives. Also, the EPOC support team, I'd like to acknowledge Althea Walters, who has been steadfast in the 8 years that I've been chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee. She is a solid human being. I can't leave out Miss Sachel Ricketts, who has been worked very close with us, and she worked with the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Jamaica, and pulling these reports together. I'd like to also acknowledge Dr. Nigel Clark, who I worked with, who asked me to chair EPOC in 2016, and who I worked very closely with, and he has been very deliberate about setting up the institutional architecture so that EPOC can come to a close with the independent central bank, the independent fiscal commission. And I am very grateful to the work that he has done as Minister of Finance over the period and set the architecture for Jamaica for generations to come to protect the macroeconomic stability of our beautiful country as we go forward. So I would like to hand over to Mr. Donovan Wignall.
It has been a very interesting journey. I feel honored to be able to serve in this capacity, serving the country and as serving my sector, the MSME sector. Definitely we look forward to the Fiscal Council and the work that it's going to be doing. I think measuring the performance and reporting on the performance of the fiscal management of the country, the fiscal responsibility of the country, it has done some good. And as we continue to evolve, we will continue to, through the Fiscal Council, continue to monitor and measure our performance and continue to evolve as we see it necessary to ensure that we have a solid economy going forward. Challenges are coming, but I'm sure if we prepare, we'll be ready for them.
It's been a journey. I'd like to thank everyone again. And as we go forward, I have been appointed chairman of the Fiscal Advisory Committee. So I will continue to serve in the way I can. Thank you very much. That's the end, but I'd like to acknowledge everyone. This is our final press briefing. I would say gratitude is a must.